What is up, everybody? My name is Bun Bun,
And I'm majestic as Fluffy Unicorn K.
and we are BaE Nation.
BaE Nation. I was gonna say the other one.
And this is
Mysteries by the BaE. Actually, in fact, today we're doing a lore.
Pretty much.
It's very alluring.
And happy Mardi Gras to
everybody. Not that you say happy Mardi Gras to everybody. You just
whatever.
Go, woo!
I ain't lifting up my shirt. We've got our Mardi Gras beads behind us on our tree. So we're celebrating with you. Today on Mysteries by the BaE, we are doing a lure of one of the Guinness World Records.
You're supposed to say the Blood Countess. The Blood Vampire. Or...
What did I say? You already said the other two.
Elizabeth Bathory.
Okay, so Elizabeth Bathory was born on August 7th of 1560.
In the town, I think it's the town of near Bartor, sorry.
Her father was George Bathory of, I cannot pronounce that town.
Essid.
The
Essid branch of the family.
Her brother Andrew Bathory, who had been
the Viadore of Transylvania.
We need to make English names for these words.
We're really.
I do not know.
You guys already know that we're bad at pronouncing things.
While her mother was Anne Bathory.
She was born into a British family of nobility. Elizabeth showed endowed with the wealth, education, and stellar social position. Really bad at reading. I got things all written out.
Her first marriage was at 13.
And Elizabeth allegedly gave birth to a child. The child said to be fathered by a peasant boy who was supposedly given away to a local family that was trusted by the Bathory family. The woman was paid for her act, and the child was kept in Wallachia. Wallachia.
Elizabeth was engaged at the age of 11 to her fiance, which I cannot pronounce.
It's Fenric Noddacy.
The son of, I cannot pronounce that either. We should have probably made these into English instead of what they were.
I didn't realize I'd missed some. Sorry, guys.
Let's just say he was a nobleman of Hungary. And what was probably I lost my place. Where'd it go?
Political arrangement.
Okay.
Engagement, arrangement, same thing. I'm sorry, you guys. We suck at this.
As Elizabeth's social standing was higher than her husband's, she refused to change her last name and remained a Bathory, which her husband followed shortly with using the last name Bathory until his death.
The couple was married when she was 15 and he was 19. That is really young to get married. But then again, back then it was,
So her husband died on January 4th of 1604 at the age of 48. He contracted some kind of disease and had to have his legs removed.
He did not have.
Yes. You did not put it in there.
It never said anything.
Yes, it did.
It said, hold on. This is, the exact nature of the illness that was led to his death is unknown. It seemed to have started in 1601 and initially caused debilitating pain in his legs. For the time, he never fully recovered. In 1603, becoming prematurely disabled. The couple had been married for 29 years before dying. It never said anything about amputating his legs.
I will show you what it said on another one when we get done here. So shortly after her husband's death, there were speculations by some of her slaves and some people.
No, actually, his name was Uari Thuzo Thurzo, which was investigating Elizabeth's crime. He was actually the reason that she was caught.
So, hold on.
And she was killing way before he died.
So she bore 4 children with her current husband, who deceased. A boy named Paul and 2 girls named Anna, Ursula, and Catherine.
Catherine.
I did say Catherine.
You said Catherine.
No, I didn't. I said Catherine.
No, you said Catherine.
Okay, so,
Go ahead and do that first one right there. I forgot to put that one up top.
What? She's been labeled as a Guinness World Record for being the most profiled woman serial killer?
Yeah.
You already know that.
Actually, she was the first female serial killer.
Why did you put that one up there? That should have been at top.
What?
A hungry noblewoman who allegedly murdered was Bathory family, and the noble in the Kingdom of Hungary who owned land.
Although the precise number of her victims are debated, Bathory and 4 collaborators were... You keep leaning on it and it keeps coming back. And 4 collaborators were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of young women between 1585 and 1609.
However, the number have come from the claims of a slave woman named Savannah and
Jacob Silvashi.
Yeah. Depending on the evidence Despite the evidence against Elizabeth, her family influence kept her from facing trial. She was imprisoned in 1806 within her castle in Upper Hungary, now known as Slovakia.
The castle was Keshti's castle.
She was held in solitary confinement in a windowless room until her death 5 years later.
Stories describe her vampire-like tendencies, most famously the tale that she bathed in the blood of virgins to retain her youth, were generally recorded years after her death and are considered unreliable.
According to testimony, Bathory's victims were several girls between the ages of 10 to 14, the daughter of local peasants, many who were lured to the castle by offering well-paid work as maids or slaves in the castle.
Later, she said to have begun to kill daughters of lesser genitority who were sent to her gynaeceum. It's a weird word. By their parents to learn courtly etiquette. My bad. I can't read.
Abductions were said to have occurred as well. The description most consistent included several beatings, burnings, and mutilation of hands, biting of flesh off the face, arms, and other body parts, frozen and starving to death, used needles, as well as also mentioned by collaborations in court.
According to the Budapest City Archives, the girls were scalped with hot tongs and placed in freezing cold water. They were covered in honey and live ants. Elizabeth is also suspected to cannibalism.
Okay, so Theo went to...
Thurzo
went to her castle after Christmas on December 30th of 1602 to catch Bathory in the act.
1610.
Thurzo arrested Bathory and 4 of her servants who were accusing her of being... this is way too much. I just lost my place.
Accused of being her accomplice.
Uh,
Dorothy Shimties, Ilona Joe, Katrina Benitska, and Janosch Uveri.
The child battery. The child battery began on January 2nd of 1611. Presided over the Royal Supreme Court Judge. We're gonna call him Theo. And 20 judges, dozens of witnesses, survivors, sometimes up to 30 a day testimony. All but one of the Countess's servants testified against her. In addition to the testimony, the court also examined the skeletons and cadaver parts found as evidence.
The number of exact victims is still unknown. Even contemporary estimates differ greatly. During the trial, Dorothy Sentes and Fico reported 36 to 37 victims representatively during the period of service. The others defendants, Ilona Joe and Katrina Bekita, estimated 50 or higher. Many of the Savar Castle personnel estimated the number of bodies removed the castle between 100 and 200. One witness, a woman, Suzanne, who spoke in trial, mentioned a book in which Bathory supposedly kept a list of over 650 victims. The number has passed into legend. As the number of 650 could not be proven, the official court remained at 50. Reportedly, the local
80.
Sorry, 80. Reportedly, the location of the diary is unknown, but 32 letters written by Bathory are stored in the Hungarian State Archives in Budapest. Yeah.
So now, before we tell you the rest of the story, we want to know what you know about Elizabeth Bathory. Have you guys watched any other movies? There was like Stay Alive that had Elizabeth Bathory in it. There was Deadly Woman's. That was the backstory.
Oh, there was even a
podcast. Yeah, there was a podcast about her. There's also a couple documentaries about her. I haven't watched any of them. I did Stay Alive. I am going to watch The Deadly Woman because I didn't know they had one. I don't believe that Elizabeth Bathory was a cannibal. I think it was just, one of those things where she probably did bathe in the blood of young virgins to stay, healthy or whatever. But apparently it didn't last very long because on August 22nd or August 21st of 1614, Bathory complained to her bodyguard that her hands were cold, whereupon he replied, "It's nothing, mistress. Please go lay down." She went back to sleep and was found dead the following morning. Now, she was buried in the church on November 25th of 1614.
She was buried in Cashti's church.
Casti's church.
Cashti's.
See, I don't want to butcher it, so you're gonna have to continue to say it.
It doesn't
matter. Whatever. On November 25th of 1614. But according to some sources, due to the villagers' uproar about the Countess being buried in their cemetery, they had to remove her body and move it to her birth town in Essex. No. Essex. Where they're not sure. Well, her family crypt is over there, but they're not sure if she's actually buried in her family crypt. And they have no whereabouts or any clues to show where her body is actually buried.
Actually, I find it kind of weird because she died in August, but she wasn't buried until November. So they kept her body, somewhere for 3 months.
Maybe it's like Thailand and they kept it in like a
I don't know if they had that kind of technology back then.
She was a countess. Maybe they had her body on display for everybody to come and poke at.
Yeah, no, that's not nice. Maybe they had it on ice.
Maybe. I don't know if they had ice blocks back then.
They did have ice blocks back then. They had it back. But I don't know. You really don't know with that.
Maybe they took her up into the mountain to the ice caps and just kept her up there until they were able to bury her.
Maybe they smuggled her into Russia.
We're sorry, everybody. We do not condone making fun of dead people.
Or smuggling dead bodies into Russia to keep them on ice.
So that was our attempt at Mysteries by the BaE. Next time
What do you mean that was our attempt? I already attempted something Mysteries by the BaE.
Whatever. This was our attempt at Mysteries by the BaE. We will be a lot better when the next one we will be talking.
Don't even tell them what we're talking about. We're not.
Something we are very familiar with.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys, that was. It's I can't do a lot of these big words. I had to like Google Translate them into dumb English.
Because
I know.
Cannot pronounce
and
these.
You knew how to pronounce some of them, like Catrice. I mean, Cashties and some of those other ones. You just skipped over the good bits.
Who cares?
Like associates.
I'd rather.
Okay, but you guys.
Not be an idiot than.
Thank you for watching. Also, thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing.
Also, remember to turn on your notifications once. Not twice. Not 3 times. But 6 million times the colors that is on the side of that thing.
Actually, there's not 6 million colors, but it's okay. We'll figure it out one day, one way or the other. Anyways. Also remember, we have a Patreon.
You guys can go and support us there if you want. No obligation to send us anything. No obligation to do anything.
Also remember,
my name is Bun Bun.
And I'm Majestica's Fluffy Unicorn K.
This was a story about Elizabeth Bathory.
And we are backing out. Oh, I said we were bathing out.
Yeah, we're bathing away.
We're bathing out of this.
Bye everybody.